If you're planning to buy a Stream Deck or a Nintendo Switch, I might need to stop you right now because I would suggest you go and buy an iPhone 15 Pro or a Pro Max. Apple just made a SoC for a smartphone which is as powerful as an entry-level console. It is much more powerful than a Nintendo Switch and also substantially powerful than Stream Deck. Stream Deck comes at 1.6 teraflops compared to iPhone's 2.4 teraflops. Now that's a lot of performance. Everybody knows that iPhone is one of the hottest selling product in the tech industry. Everybody wants an iPhone. A lot of people have an iPhone. And for game publishers and game developers, they need a platform where they can launch their game, where there is a lot of audience. But how those AAA games which are made for PCs and run on x86 architecture will work on a tiny device which has a ARM SoC? Well, to answer that question, Apple have Metal. Now, Metal is Apple's low-level API which supports Vulkan. That means a lot of games already can be easily ported over to Apple's ecosystem, and we have already seen some games are ported over to MacBooks and they are performing really good. And not only that, iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max have hardware accelerated ray tracing support, and Metal FX have a hardware based upscaling, and we already seeing that some games like Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4, Assassin's Creed Mirage and Death Stranding are getting ported over to iPhones. And developers have to work on a very finite number of hardware to optimize their games, unlike the whole PC industry where you have multiple combinations of hardwares and you have to optimize them for all. And the final nail in the coffin is Apple's ecosystem, which is unmatched. If you have an iPhone, you want an iPad, you want an Apple Watch, you want a MacBook, and when you have that ecosystem, making game for the whole ecosystem becomes easier, and now you can reach a lot of people. And not only that, iPads is also a great option because iPad OS is not that different. It's a reskinned version of iOS. Okay, fight me if you disagree with me, but I will say it's just a reskinned version of iOS. And if game devs start to put their games on iPad OS 2, so now you are not only satisfying people who own iPhone, but you're also satisfying a huge number of people who use iPad for their daily media consumption. And then there is Apple's Arcade, which is their game distribution service. And if Apple gets to convince publishers to import their game or to include their game in Apple Arcade, things can get pretty interesting pretty fast. It doesn't mean it's all sunshine and roses though. There are a few problems and kinks that need to sort out. The first is convincing publishers. Lot of big name publishers who do AAA games and which is their bread and butter, like 3D Project Red, will be hard to convince because now not only they have to put years into making games on a x86 platform, now they also have to port it over to a ARM platform. And also not a lot of publishers would love to pay the Apple tax that they have to pay to include their games on to Apple Store or Apple Arcade. And we have seen that example with Fortnite and Epic Games. They fought a big battle. So that is also a big thing that Apple needs to sort out if they want to have a gaming revolution in their hand. And even after all this, it's still a small device. It needs to be treated properly to get the best performance because thermal constraint is a big thing that Apples need to figure out or they have to optimize. Well, even after all this, if you're not convinced, it's an iPhone. It has a great camera. You can make calls, you can consume content, you can make content, you can stream with it, and you can do every single thing that you can do with an iPhone. And also it has the same capability to play games at a level of entry level console. But up until Apple figure that out, I will tell you to figure out how to subscribe to my channel, because this is the end of this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you haven't, well, hit the dislike. Feel free to do it. You will hurt me, but I will take that somehow. And if you want to watch more videos from us, check out this video right here. And if you want to subscribe, again, if you haven't subscribed yet, do it right by here. And there's Akash, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.